Hello and welcome to the Fedgocolian Lounge, the official alumni podcast of the Federal Government College Warri Old Students Association. This is more than just a podcast, it's a homecoming because we get to reconnect, reflect and inspire many others, keeping the Federal Government College Warri spirit alive and thriving. Here we'll have insightful conversations on career growth, personal development, leadership, entrepreneurship and so many others. We'll also celebrate the achievements of Fedgocolians across various fields and explore ways to give back to the next generation. Now, are you ready? It's time to relax and enjoy the lounge. This is the Fedgocolian Lounge. My name is Rume Paulson and I'm honored to be your host. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by the Nigerian Machine Tools Limited and Glee Hotels. In this special episode, we join the global community to celebrate International Women's Day 2025 under the theme Accelerate Action, a powerful call to take deliberate steps towards gender equality. So to all the women around the world, happy International Women's Day to you. And to the men, our allies, please wish any lady around you a happy International Women's Day. Our topic today is breaking barriers, rising above all limitations. Now at FGC Warri, we've seen incredible women break barriers, lead with excellence and inspire many. Today we'll explore their journey, the challenges they've had to overcome and the impact they continue to make. Which brings me to our amazing guests. Women who embody resilience, innovation, and leadership. Our first guest today is Usai Alile. She's the CEO of Aspire Coronation Trust Foundation. She's from the Pescuna set of 1990. Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure. And our second guest is Agarese Onagise. She's the Executive Director of Food and Beverage Recycling Alliance, and she's from the class set of 1996. Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Lovely. All right, so today we're speaking on, obviously, because it's International Women's Day today, and that is the focus of this. It's our pilot episode, which I'm so excited about. And I love the fact that, we're launching with women, celebrating women. Yes. And we obviously join the global community in wishing everybody a happy International Women's Day today. So let's get right into business, which is talking about rising above all limitations and breaking barriers. I'll start with you, Ms. Osai. In your journey, obviously, as a woman, you have to juggle through a lot, right? You have to think of your business, you have to think of your family and all. But what has brought you so far in your journey, and how did you get to the person of Usai Alile today?
Okay, happy Women's Day to everyone out there, including the men, because they're the ones that are keeping us standing as well. So we're excited to do this. I'm glad that we're also, as Fedco, we are thinking and opening up our minds to let people see it and see where we are. My journey in life has been interesting and has been a journey filled with a lot of excitement as well. Mm-hmm. There's no one's journey that is very smooth sailing. You always have challenges that you overcome and then you move along. But for me, family first, that has kept me. I was raised in a home with 8 children. My parents were very, very grounded and very value-based family. For you to go to Federal Warri those days, to federal schools, you know that your parents wanted you to get the best of the best. But for them, it was just, their thinking was that they needed us to understand that there's a world outside of where we are. And my parents were very, very open to nobody. I was brought up, it didn't matter if I was a woman or a man, they just knew that they wanted you to be brought up right. And they did do a good job. Of course, as a child, you almost want to fight them. You don't want you want to do everything opposite of what they're saying. But now I look back and say, they did an amazing job.
I totally agree with you, because I still say that sometimes. I'm grateful for my parents and the training that they gave me.
And the opportunity that they gave us to do much. And in terms of career as well, it's not like it's exactly where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a lawyer. I just thought then I wanted to go and do an MBA. I was working in a bank and then ended up in social sector, completely different from where but I love where I am today. And it's been amazing understanding the sector, but also building in the sector as well, and building with everyone that is doing a good work, not only in Nigeria, but across Africa as well. And but I would say for me, family values was the major thing, and that's the foundation of where I've done everything from.
I agree with you completely, because family is everything, and it's the training they give you today that would ensure that you have a brighter tomorrow. And of course, we're here celebrating you now because of the training your parents gave you. So how about you, Agarisi? How did you come to be Agarisi of today?
Okay, thank you very much, and I'm happy to be here. My journey has also been very exciting. Not where, my classmates from 96 sets would think I will be, but I'm very happy about where I am because that's where I want to be. So while we were in Federal Warri, I was a science student, so automatically the career path was mostly to be a doctor. But then, of course, I couldn't get into medicine, and I studied microbiology. But after that, at a point, so the person that was really instrumental to what I am today is my dad. He was also so engrossed in me being a doctor. But after a while, there was a day he called me and he was like, if this doctor medical school is not working out, I think you think of something else.
Yeah.
And then from out of the blue, I've never heard of it. Just like he thinks or he knows environmental science is the future. And that was, how many years ago? Over 20 years ago that he said that. And I was like, environmental science, I didn't know anything about it. So I went to the internet and he was like, okay, because I actually finished uni very early. I was just before 21, I finished school. And then I wanted to go for a master's program. So he was like, try environmental. And then I dived into it and it was just, what I wanted to do.
Aww.
But then when I go back, I went for my master's program in the UK. I wanted to come back to Nigeria with so much energy. And I came back to Nigeria and everybody would ask you, oh, what do you do? I would say I'm an environmentalist. I was like, what's that? What's that?
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. So I was a bit confused. But I still had that drive. I still had that passion. And I got into health and safety. But then, even with a full-time job in health and safety, I was doing a lot of volunteering environmental jobs. But at least right now, I'm in the environmental space, and I believe I'm making impact. I've been there for over 5 years now, and I'm enjoying it, and I know that the future is bright.
Amazing. Now, obviously, it shows that you had to pivot at some point, right? And a lot of times, women don't even know when to say, you know what, it's okay that this path I have followed, let me go through another one, right? So how did you know that it was time? First, I will commend your dad. He saw the future, which is amazing. Maybe he needs to see a vision for me right now. I need to be doing something else. But how did you know that it was time for you to pivot and say, you know what, let me get this, let me go through this whole environmentalist thing that I know I studied?
Okay, so when I got back after my master's, I started doing the environmental work. I actually went further to register a consulting firm, and I was doing it part-time, but not really for money. So when I was on a full-time job in health and safety in the oil and gas sector, I was still looking for opportunities, but doing the work mostly for free. So an opportunity came up and I just did it out of, let me go and see if I really know what I learned,
what I studied
and what I've been volunteering for. And then suddenly I got the job. And then I told my manager was like, this is the stuff you normally do every weekend. You're always out there doing environmental. Exactly. I said, no, this is a job. This is my career now. He said, okay, take 2 months off. I said, no, I want to resign. And
wow.
I spent 13 years in the oil and gas sector. And for the first time, I was not one of those that would say I want to resign and threaten them. So he knew it was real. And at that point, I knew it was time because a lot of things, the narrative was changing even in Nigeria. So the awareness was growing. And if I did not get in at that point, early enough, I knew I would have missed out. And I'm happy I took that chance.
Fantastic. That's amazing. And it's great that you know that melting point whereby it's time to move and you move. Now, Osai, for you, I want to have an understanding of you right now because someone who sees you, they think you're boisterous, you're very confident. Oh my God, she's breaking boundaries. I know that you sit on the board of Wimbiz as well, right? And shout out to Wimbiz, I love them. So how did you ever deal with maybe an imposter syndrome, maybe when you were even in school? Or have you always been that confident person? And if maybe you dealt with it, how did you, for people who are watching right now thinking, I might not be enough, but they can learn from you knowing that you can actually build it over time and get there?
I think the journey of knowing yourself is a journey. It's not something you get to say, I've gotten there. At every time when you feel very confident about something, you get to a point that you can't ask yourself questions. and then you find the answers, and then you move on again. So at the moment, I can tell you that, I'm very confident. I'm not afraid of anything.
Yeah.
But if you ask me in another 6 months, it might be something else. So I think for everyone out there, you must just know who you are as a person. Know that it's a lifelong journey. So even when you feel uncomfortable or when you feel discouraged, one of the things I always say to myself is that this too shall pass. No matter how bad it is, no matter what you're feeling, no matter how uncomfortable you might be feeling, even this too can be success. This too shall pass. Even if you have done an amazing job today, as soon as tomorrow comes, everybody's already looking for the next thing. So you always have to know yourself. To thyself be true. And once you do that, and once you know yourself, then anytime you have this imposter syndrome or you're feeling uncomfortable, or when challenges come, then you say to yourself, okay, I'm going through this particular challenge. How do I deal with it? I always say, go back into your own wardrobe. Nobody can help you except yourself. You might get people. I have a whole tribe around me that they will pump you up, but you have to face the mirror by yourself, and then you have to know exactly when you need to do that as well. So there's sometimes when things have gone very well for me, I know when to go in and shut myself in a room and say, okay, this has been great. So next. And when that happens, it makes you confident about the next challenge that you see, because there will always be challenges. There will always be issues. So you have to be ready for them. And once that happens, once you're ready for it, it's easier to overcome it. So when you feel that everything is going to be hunky-dory for the next few days, it doesn't happen like that.
Ups and downs, hills and valleys.
And there's some days of success, some days of challenges. There's some good days, some bad days. And you prepare. I always prepare my mind for it. And that's why in terms of even with work, I tell people that I'm never afraid of droughts. Because drought will come. I know I'm always prepared for drought. I know how to manage myself. I know how to change my mind. So that's the flexibility of a human being as well. You need to be flexible. You need to realize that some days you put on weight, some days you lose the weight. So it happens. And that's life. So when someone says, this is going on, I'm like, yeah, but it's going to pass. This too shall pass.
Amazing. I love that. I love that mentality, because a lot of times we just feel like it has to be one straight line, but it's never that way. And you should be able to prepare for anything that comes. Now, you were talking about challenges. Obviously, there are days that are great, days that are not, right? So for you, Agarise, how do you get to deal with all of this? Because women are most multifaceted beings, let's be honest. We like to take on a lot. We like to do a whole lot. Obviously, you need to be an overachiever or an achiever at work. You need to still balance the family. So how do you juggle all of life's challenges?
There shouldn't be any pressure. Women, we put ourselves under too pressure. Too much pressure. I mean, what are we pursuing? And also, we need to always have that spirit of continuous improvement. Don't be too hard on yourself. Have a great support system. She talked about family. For me, family is a great support system over time. So through the years, I've had different challenges, both at work, personal challenges, but having a strong support system, besides your family, you also need to create a network that can support you. I'll give a typical example. So in our 96 sets, generally all the sets, we have a group.
Yes.
But we now have a ladies group. And the guys are always like, what are you saying in that group? So initially it was all, we're all like, feeling cool. But at a point, I'm one of the people that breaks the barrier and say, who is going through this? I might not be going through it, but maybe I know one or two people. And you see everybody opens up because they feel it's a safe space. So as women, we need to also create those safe spaces where we can express ourselves, because we have a lot going on. We have a lot we need to juggle, both life, career, and in society. A lot of pressures. And I also believe if you speak about it, if you talk about it, it makes it easy on you. And it also keeps you going, because you'll be surprised that someone is going through something worse than what you're going through, and that also lifts you up. And then finally, I also say your faith in God. We can't remove that, because sometimes even people around you might not understand what you're going through. But just like Osai said, when you go back to your closet, you look within yourself. Sometimes it's only God you can look up to, and He's always there to support you.
Now, because you also spoke about, having your network around you, people around you, people that will pump you up even when you're going through challenges. Let's talk about the power of sisterhood, because a lot of times in today's world, we see where they make this narrative that women are always pitting themselves against each other. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be women embracing each other, supporting each other. So have you ever had any point in your life whereby the sisterhood that you have, the tribe that you've already created for yourself, has played a crucial role in your success today?
100% everywhere. Every journey I've taken, I don't walk my journey alone. Never have. Because I don't.
Some people cannot relate to that, because some people will tell you,
yes, I'm by myself. We have that new thing of saying, be
one man
myself
squad.
Be myself and I don't old friends, don't need new people. But I don't believe in that. I believe that God put us on earth to walk this journey of life with other people. We can never be an island. It's just not possible. So with work, with my family, with friends, I have a strong tribe, and I say it everywhere. I don't believe in women fighting against. I don't believe in it. I've always had women that stood with me, and I've had men that have stood with me, and I've had women that have not stood with me, and I've had men that have not stood with me. So
it's not a gender thing.
It's not a gender thing. I feel that you create your own tribe. You're good to your tribe. Your tribe is good to you.
Exactly.
I've had friends, like you mentioned, that have gone the Pescuda tribe, and we have our women folk as well. We're talking about it just now, but I said that we back each other up 100%, and we have our own women's group as well, and the guys are also there. I mean, they are my good friends. And I mean, when I've gone through my down moments, when my father died, I know how many of them went with me to Benin for the funeral. And when I've gone through things, I know how many of them have stood with me. Then I have a tribe of women, my friends, that have been friends with me since I have friends from primary school. They're still close to me. They know my father, they know my mother. Inside my room.
That's so beautiful.
And then I have the new ones too. I'm not afraid of making friends. I'm not afraid of it. And then of course I have my siblings. My siblings are my tribe as well. Then even in my space of where I work, I have a development group with women, and we've now been in that group now for over 12 years. And we've seen ourselves grow, we've seen ourselves have challenges, we've stood with each other, and when I'm having a program, they all come as well, like go for theirs. But I just want to reiterate this to the gender, that you cannot walk this journey alone. I mean, there's so many things that women go through that nobody understands, and we have to talk about. Then you have different seasons in life. Now I have a 23-year-old child, so that's a completely different lifestyle. What I'm saying to him, he's looking at me and thinking to himself, I mean, are you joking for real? So that thing of what you were doing when he was 16 and 18, it's not what you're doing when he's 20.
Different.
He's a man.
Exactly.
So I have to go back to the other. Hey, my sister, how are you dealing with this thing? These children are growing up. We're even getting to that age where our children are getting married. Even happiness is in this season. In this season of our lives, happiness and being at this age and at this time of our lives, and we can look back and just be happy.
And just
something. It's a huge thing.
That's something.
Sisterhood is necessary.
I love that. Sometimes there's a lot of negativity about women, and we're trying to break those barriers and remove those stereotypes. We are much more, and together we can do better. And the truth is, you can either learn from your experiences or from someone else's. So you're saying, you can be having a conversation, you've dealt with this, how do I deal with that? That's the power of sisterhood. That's the power of coming together and saying, I want to learn from your experiences so that I do not go through the same things again. So I absolutely love that. No man is a silo, so we all have to work together. Now, Say, you look like a brilliant person. You look like a genius. When I first saw you, I said, I think so.
I was,
Most definitely. There is a look. You have the look. I can promise you. So, let me even ask this. Did you ever fail any course or any subjects in Federal Warri?
No.
Of course, you see what I was saying. She's definitely a bookie. So now, have you ever failed at anything in life? And what did you learn from that? Okay,
so I'll give an example. In recent times, in the last 5 years, in this my current role, and we had a plan to execute a project. That project, if we had executed it then, by now, maybe I would have been very popular, everybody would know me. And so we had The challenge we had with the project was that we had different partners, and I wasn't able to manage all the partners effectively. So I failed at that, and the project did not hold. And I'm still dealing with some of the challenges of the project now to try and rectify it. But what I learned from it is that anything you want to do, and that's why I keep saying the support you have cannot be an island. I was focused on dealing with the members, the partners we had, but I also did not look at the external factors. We had the government to deal with, we had the other factors to deal with, and I did not put it all together.
Into consideration.
Consideration when I was planning the project, and so it failed. And of course, I felt disappointed, I felt all that, but I also was able to explain to my partners, and they were also able to understand. But the thing also is, what is the way forward? And so in anything in life, whenever you fail, let's all be ready to say, what next? What have I learned from it? And then what is the next step? Because if you don't learn from it, you end up making that same mistake, or someone else will make that same mistake. But now, if I want to advise someone on a project like that, I know what I'll tell the person, because I've learned lessons, and I've also been able to go back to the drawing board and replan. So now we're having other projects that are now successful because I've looked at all the, I've considered all the relevant stakeholders and the parties.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think the problem a lot of people have is when they fail, they give up.
Yeah.
And they just say, you know what, it's not for me, I can't do it.
Never ever give up. Keep moving. Just keep moving.
And the fear of failure as well, you know. Mostly if you're someone that has succeeded and done, people see you, you've done well over the years. And then that fear of, oh gosh, I'm going to fail at this.
I don't want to drop the ball.
Yes, you don't want to drop the ball. But we must realize that once you get to a setting, the ball must drop.
No matter how you hold it.
Sometimes it must drop. It must drop. And then dealing with multi-stakeholders in life generally, even if it's not only working, even multi-stakeholders in families.
Family, exactly.
Children, so you realize that those things, you have to have some form of your leadership skills are built as you do it as well. And then once leadership, you learn from that and you move to the next. So apt. 100%. Yes.
100%. I agree. What do you say about the thought or the idea that women, because now obviously this is for International Women's Day, right? And the theme for this year is Accelerate Action.
Yeah.
But there's still people maybe in the rural communities that think that women's roles are to be traditional, being in the kitchen, being homemakers. And there are people who want that, let's be honest. There are women that will tell you, all I want to do is be a housewife, and that's okay too. But there are women who, they want more for themselves. They want to be career women. They want to be able to do more and achieve more. What do you say to that? And if you were to challenge somebody today that there is more for you, how do you use your life as an example for that?
Okay, so by the way, being a housewife is a full-time job.
Yeah.
I also believe in self-development. It doesn't mean you have to be in the boardroom, but you must do something for yourself that gives you that fulfillment. Because as human beings, we all have a passion. We all have something we have come to this earth to fulfill. If you don't fulfill it, at the end of the day, you live with regret. So you'll be old and you'll be regretting because you spent your life serving others as a woman. And that's what we do naturally. We are nurturers, we help other people, but we forget ourselves. So sometimes, or most times for all women, there's something like self-love. Think about yourself. At a point in time, just stop, think about yourself. Because at a point, all the people you have helped, even your family, they have their own lives to live. And then you are left by yourself. What do you want to do for yourself? Then the second one is that financial independence you might need.
Yes.
So sometimes, the country... You need
most definitely need it.
Because the country is so hard. In life itself is so challenging that you just need that financial independence. Of course, we have examples of stories that women that were not financially independent or could not support their family. And maybe what if the breadwinner goes? That's the reality of life. What do? You cannot now take care of the children. You cannot now take care of the family. That home front, there's a barrier because you're not able to step in. So we need to be able to empower ourselves as women, to be able to step in when the time comes. And also to be a support to the husband or to the family, because that's what we're actually meant to do. We're meant to support, not only giving all of our time, but also to be able to be creative and innovative, which is what we naturally do.
So you're capable of so much more. And if you do not put yourself out there, you don't even know what you can do, right? And if something happens to the breadwinner, sometimes it's not even about thinking of children or other people. For yourself, you have to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Do you know how much is skincare in the market? How much is food? I mean, I was having a conversation with my mom, and she was just saying having to train a girl child is way more expensive than having to train a boy child. Before you buy hair packer, before you buy dress, all of those things. So taking care of yourself is also important, and that's the reason why you need so much more. But for you, Osai, what would you say to women being capable of so much more and maybe deciding that I'd rather just take the back seat?
To thyself be true.
Well, choose your path.
Choose your path and be comfortable enough to say that this is my path. Don't allow anybody else to choose it for you. If you want, I have friends that are stay-at-home moms and they've done it for years and they are doing exceptionally well at it. And I mean, even me, I'm always applauding them. And it's the same way. If I become a stay-at-home, you should ask me questions. That's not my path. It's not my path. You should just be worried about me. If my friends will bring me and sit here, what's going on? What's happening?
There's no midlife crisis.
Exactly. Is anybody bullying you? So we all have our different paths, and focus on your path and stay on it. But you're 100% in terms of how the world is. And there's so many things that we as women have the capacity to do. We have the capacity. God has blessed us significantly. And I always feel that when I see a woman that is not even using 20% of that, it's almost I want to scream. And that's why my involvement in any women issue is so it's something that I can't stop doing, because I've seen women that I knew that this is not where you're supposed to be. And I almost want to start crying. I'm like, oh, are you joking? Get up. I want to scream and say, get up from where you are sitting. You have so much in you, and the world is waiting for that. And then you are sitting down and just taking everybody blowing you from left, right, and center. I mean, let the blows come, but defend yourself for Christ's sake. And once you get to that point, then you know that, because we don't know how long we have.
Exactly.
Life is short.
Nobody, as I'm sitting here, I can walk out, something happens. We don't want it, but that's life.
The part of the Nigerian in me just said God.
Yes, but I trust God completely. I know where He's. I know that, I mean, there's some things I need to do. So I believe that. But I also know that I don't know how long I have. So even everybody's always saying, why are you in a hurry? I mean, I've been running since I was in my 20s, because I'm still here. I'm in my 50s, so there's still so much that we can do, and there's so much that we have inside of us to bring out. Right. Even for our children, just them seeing you accomplishing challenges, seeing you overcoming it, it's also a learning point for them. My son will tell anybody anytime. He said, look, I've watched my mom falling down many times. I've watched her rising taller many times, and it gives him confidence that he can always rise above every challenge he sees, because he has seen me do it over and over again. And I tell him that you even have more strength than I do, because I've given you some, so you can be your own. And you want to be where it's not possible. You cannot be my child and be behind. No, it's not possible. And I say even to my staff, you cannot be working with me and achieve mediocre. It's impossible. I refuse to be mediocre. I don't do mediocrity. I don't do it. And I don't allow any woman around me to do it. So we just have to realize that there's so much that God has blessed us with as women. And even as women, to raise men.
Yes.
Because this is not just, I mean, we're having a conversation because it's International Women's Day. It's for everybody.
And even the way we talk about everything that we're talking about, because if you are building us as mothers, as sisters, as aunties, even if you're not a mother to a child, when we are complaining, the men, I said, who raises them? We are the ones that raise them. True. If you don't do right by them, they were giving them mediocre behavior. So don't sit down and be complaining when you are not doing right by your son.
Exactly.
So we have to always do those things and realize that a lot of the burden still rests upon us as mothers, as sisters, as
we're everything. The ones to nurture and train.
We nurture.
Because sometimes mothers spend so much time training the girl child.
And they neglect the boys.
And then they feel the boys are okay. But then we're now saying that the boys even need those trainings, those strict trainings that we got as girls growing up. Because now that's why you see that a lot of women are stronger, better, doing better.
We have to do better by ourselves.
We need to do better by ourselves.
Exactly. So, what are some things that you think definitely we need to do right now to accelerate action?
We're not anywhere. We're still so far away from where we should be.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the two genders, we're almost in terms of 50-50. But when everything is, the woman is politics, economics, the home front, we're disadvantaged. I'm not looking, but and it's still the same stories we hear over and over again. But I feel to myself that it's not a journey for only the women. We as women must work with the men. We're all in this together. Because when I go to talk to, even from women-based point of view, when we go to talk to the men, and I see them and I say, "You have daughters?" They say, "Yes." They now start telling you all the things they're so proud of. And I look at them and say, "But you know, when you get into the boardroom, none of your daughters can sit on the table." You're like, No, my daughter is. I said, no. When you get
There's
there,
so many,
because you are not creating it.
Yes.
Open the door. Let us sit at the table with you. And let us be able to also give you what we feel our intentions are. And give you that side that you do not see. Because we always see a side that is different. And you see a side. And then it mix. There's no jollof rice that is only just rice now.
The entire mix. That's what makes it sweet.
Yes, if you just do jollof rice, don't put tomato. It's not going to work. So we need the mixture of everything together. And that's what we need to do. So everything is not as balanced as it should be. But it doesn't mean that we haven't gotten to it's gotten better.
Of course.
But there's still so much as women that we must do. In changing the stories and telling better stories about what we are doing better. And then we need our brothers, we need our husbands, we need our fathers to also speak up on our behalf. And say to them that this table, if it's not, you say it's not enough now, let us
create more.
Extend are not enough now. Let's bring chairs. And then we women that are already in that creates pull other women and say, sit down.
I love that.
So we have to do better.
Of course. But Gary, say, what are some policies that you'd love to see change?
Policies. Okay, just in addition to what you just said, is that you need to empower the women, more women, because sometimes it's lonely up there. When I was in the oil and gas, I was practically the only woman on the table.
Wow.
Then when I had a project manager join, because I was in health and safety, the manager. So it's always lonely, and when you're talking to black woman, so we need to empower more people. And I find out that when I build teams, I might start with a mixed team, but I now get a stronger female team. And then you're like, you're biased. I'm not biased, but they are good.
Value.
But exactly. So we need to be able to create that value. Because if we are able to create value, then we'll get a space on the table. So we also need to prepare ourselves. And in that sisterhood, let's help ourselves to build up and bring people up so that we'll be able to have a space. And when that opportunity comes for us to be on that table, we'll be able to have that value creation, not just being because I'm a woman.
I love it. Thank you so much. Now, to me, I don't want this to end. But every good thing has to come to an end, even though now we're going over to our next segment, my Fedgocolian Chronicles. So here we want to hear the juicy details. So now I'll start with you, Sai. Why are you laughing already? Please, we want to know your craziest, wildest, juiciest FGC story. Please give us the juicy details.
Oh gosh. It's weird. I can't remember a lot of things now. I mean, this is so much. But I think for me, maybe when I first got in, I just never understood initiation. I just think, I mean, then we'll go there. I remember I got on stage. You know how you'd be thinking, okay, what talent will you show? And I was so excited I could dance. I thought I could dance, I couldn't sing to save my life, nothing, and then you will now get up there, you will now perform, sing.
There needs to be breakdancing,
yes,
right?
you now do everything. They now say, what do people think? I say, And I was like, I was so heartbroken. I mean, they let me go, but I just, after a while, they start shouting Queen. And then I was thinking to myself, and I could see them mixing that thing. I was just like, gosh. I know it was like, why would these people be so wicked to me? No, not mean. Mean is nice. Wicked. Because this was your form one. And then you felt you were cute. You were just like a cute girl. And then at the end of the day, I think then the head boy or someone could say, no.
Okay.
So they now said no, I should go. But that night I cried so badly. I was so sad. I wanted to go home.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I never understood initiation. I just never understood it.
But did anybody throw jest at you saying, "Oh, you didn't do so well"? Maybe later.
Of course. Yeah, we abuse you from year one, from 1 to from 6. Even now.
In my time, the next morning, I can promise you that you're already being cartooned.
That board, yes, that board. You used to be afraid to wake up in the morning because it used to come out.
That was like our headlines.
Yes, and then you just be afraid, oh God, they're going to put my name and I mean,
did that happen to you? No.
No, I actually got on the board once, and it was for something that they said was a relationship. I was not even in a relationship. I just feel, why are they lying? And then when we now left school, now found out who were the people that were they come. Well, I mean, there were so many beautiful
memories. Yeah.
I mean, good, bad, and very ugly.
How about you, Gary? Say your craziest, wildest story from Federal Government College,
There were
Warri.
several things that happened, but I will talk about the most embarrassing things.
Yes, I love that.
So you can imagine you saying that me, if you go, everything.
Head girl.
No, then I was not.
Okay.
So we were in SS2, and I was in the school choir, not school choir, but like the church choir, Catholic choir. And of course, Christmas we used to do carols and all that. So I sing alto. I still sing alto. I mean, personally, not in the choir. So we had a practice. My voice was okay, and then we're doing 12 days of Christmas.
Okay.
I had on the stage, you can imagine the stage. Assembly hall, everybody was there, and I was in SS2, so I was not like in JS1 that they don't know me. Everybody knew me.
Yeah.
And I think I was meant to take 6 Giza Lane. So till now I have that phobia. No. When I hear that song,
your voice will go down.
My voice now went. I had a broken voice.
Oh,
and so at first I didn't understand what was going on. But Fedgocolian, the way they boo. So when you do that, what was that one? 5. No, there was one before 6. When it gets to my turn. So the first time I sang, I didn't hear my voice. Everybody was just laughing and booing people. I'm trying to hear it. Everybody was shouting. I was like, I was so embarrassed. I was falling on stage. But you know what? I kept it going.
Yeah, so you sang it again?
I sang it to with your full chest. With my full chest. I just had to. Because I was also thinking, I can't spoil the
after all the practice.
So the worst part was when it's just about my turn, I already laughed. And I was like, what is this? That's the most embarrassing.
And they will laugh for the whole time.
The next day they cartooned me. I was in the press but they cartooned me.
Are you serious?
They cartooned me the next day. The next day I was saying, how will I go to class? How will I walk down the block? Because I was in A. So you have to walk all the way. I was like, how heaven just for me open the ground and
I think that was the worst thing ever. That laughter is you.
It rings in my head. And so even now.
Were you in boarding?
I was in boarding.
How about you, sir? Were you in boarding?
Oh yes, sir.
I was in boarding. So everybody knew me. And so there was nowhere to hide, as it. And I kept it going. But I was like, I can't just stop now. I know
they're so wicked. Even now when they say it, they will be laughing at you.
I'm sure your classmates right now, they're probably rolling.
No.
That's so funny. Okay, so I have a few questions for you. So in your time, obviously you're from the Pesquina set. Please, is there any slang that was raining? In fact, that's the word they used to use. That was raining in that time that we probably don't know.
I'm sure if my classmates see this, they will laugh because they already know that I will not remember anything.
Oh, you serious?
Because they used to call me Ajay. Like every slang. I mean, of course, the massacre thing I never understood. That's one of the things.
What's that?
Massacre.
Yeah,
Don't you remember massacre?
We had it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When you,
Some days you come into the dining, you have a massacre everybody.
Everybody will
Sauce
want
for your
this. Sauce for you. You don't sit
Are
down
you
to eat.
serious?
Yeah. Oh, so that's a good one. So I can say one.
People will be hungry.
Some people will be hungry. So you have to be very bold and brazen.
So you're grabbing pots and everything.
They will carry the whole pot.
They carry the whole table, everything. Some people are good at it, so they knew. And then, of course, people used to kind of know when it would be massacre, so they would plan. Some people that they are yes. So when they call massacre, then I'll just like, I know that I'm not eating that day. Let me just go eat my cereal or Gary in the hostel, because there's no way I can rush faster than those men. Those boys, they're brutal. So that's one of those things that when you just hear it, everybody just scatters.
I can remember Vorashers.
I think I knew.
Vorashers, those that used to run for the food, and they really like
that's true.
And even we had some people in our set, even some ladies that till now they still call the Vorashers, as in they like food.
Did you guys have black?
Yeah, black fish.
Yeah. You don't know what that is? But you know what black was? Do you know where it was called black?
Junior staff quarters.
Yeah. Oh, are you serious?
Not to that time.
So different.
Very different. Very, very different. Gosh.
Did you ever get punished?
Of course I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Head girl got punished?
Okay, but I was lucky though. So, then we had Bendel State. So then now so they had the girls' school and then they had the boys' school. Most of the boys were going to Warri at that time. So my elder sister then, she was in the girls' school. So most of her classmates from primary school were in Federal, as in the guys. So I used to get all those concessions that when they are punishing people, that's a sister. So I always had all that, but I was punished.
So what's the worst punishment for you?
Worst punishment? The one you used to hang on those pigeon holes.
What? Hold?
Oh, there's no. What? In the rooms, you had some poles.
Those holes.
Yeah.
You put your hand there.
You put your hand and
no way.
But the most embarrassing one was they tell you to mount in dining hall.
You want to die.
You want to die.
Yes.
I got that.
Looking at you.
Yes, that was horrible actually.
What's your worst?
I think for me personally was when the head boy just before I said, I know his name, I don't want to call him. He knows himself. Told me to go and break down the anthill. Anthill,
And don't the ants obviously
they came out.
Oh my goodness!
Anthill. I mean, it was horrible. I know you can be doing that thing for hours, and it was myself. A friend of mine, I say it was my fault that got us into trouble. And then I was not a very troublesome person in school, but I just could not stand annoying people. So I would just be irritating to them. So they used to punish for that. So he told me to go and break the ant. It took us hours. At the end of the day, people had to go and beg.
I hope the ants did not.
The ants came now. That's normal now. They had to bite you. You remove your leg, you shake it a bit, you continue.
I remember one that I didn't like, and I don't think I even deserve that punishment. You may be watching this now. So we had night prep, and of course I said
I love these stories. Yes,
I was the only female in the class, and then this guy just walked into the class. I know how when the prefects come, you now get up and why do I have to greet? And it was just a set above us, so just one set. So it's not like it was a senior. And then he said, I didn't get up, and just slapped me.
Wow.
As in a dirty slap. I can't forget that slap. And so everybody was like, they were not is it toasting you? But funny enough is that even after school, he remembers, because when we were doing the alumni thing, he was saying I still had that just
from school.
Yeah, because I remember he was the one that slapped me. I never used to get into trouble. But I can't remember if he apologized, but I know I told him.
When he did. I mean, school.
He couldn't even remember.
So much fun.
And that's the worst thing.
That's the thing that took me. Remember the wahala.
Yeah. Okay, finally, because we have to end this now. What is something that you learned in Federal Warri that has still helped you till today? Let's start with you.
I think comradeship. Federal Warri was a school that there was no class. at least my time, there was nobody knew whose parents were wealthy and whose weren't.
Exactly.
We knew that we all came to school with provisions, and if the person did not have next to us, we gave. It wasn't anything that we thought about.
Yeah.
I have extra gari till because we hungry at the last few weeks of
Exactly.
And so that thing taught me. It was when we left school and we're older that I realized, this person's father was this, or this person's mother was this. And no one used to bring big car to school. But at that time, there was nothing like that. Everybody was together. We just did things together. And there was no tribalism.
Yes.
We didn't care which state.
Because you're coming from everywhere.
Which state you were from, the north, from the south, from the east, from the west. And I think that really helped me. I have friends from everywhere. And I'm not concerned about what kind of level they are from or where they are from. And that's one of the things I miss about federal schools for our children. It was very good.
How about you, Agarese? What is something that you definitely learned in federal, but now it has helped you in life?
Okay, one of the things I learned is that time management. We were like on the clock. You wake up, you do this, you take your bath in a short while, and it still happens for me. When I'm in
There's something they used to call it, rub and shine. Yes, it was in my time.
So, and it also taught me adaptability, because there have also been times that I've been faced with, even at an adult age, similar challenges that I faced, and I could just breeze through. I mean, it was nothing to me because I'd already learned it. I mean, it was already built in me. And then finally, how to relate with the opposite sex. I mean, to be bold enough. Yeah. Even with those laughters, those yabbing that you do. Now, there's nothing, nothing that can move you. You just move on, you brace it up and move on. So that was also good.
And if you can take worry, people abuse you.
Exactly. Naturally, I'm shy, but because of worry, I used to the yabby, you just
brought out the boldness in you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, ladies, for doing this. It's been an absolute pleasure. In fact, I don't want this to end. Do you want to go? But we have to go. We have to go. So I've been speaking with Mrs. Osai Alili. She's from the Peskuna set, and also Mrs. Agarese Onagise. She's from the 1996 set. And you've been watching the Fedgocolian Lounge. Now we have some amazing gifts for you. Little gifts. In celebration of International Women's Day, we decided to curate a pamper box for you, courtesy of our entire ESCO. So let's have it. So first, we're inducting you again, even though you're already a Fedgocolian. So we have some sashes for you.
Nice.
Yes, you have your own personalized sashes. And because we're Nigerian, we obviously had to do a showcase.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
And of course, we have our pamper boxes for you.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and we hope that you love them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We hope that we'll definitely do this again. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching the Fedgocolian Lounge, and a big thank you to the sponsors of today's episode, the Nigerian Machine Tool Limited and Glee Hotels. A special shout out to Botu Space for styling me today. We hope you enjoyed this episode and would love to hear your Fedgocolian Chronicles. So make sure to share your craziest and wildest FGC Warri stories in the comments. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. My name is Rome Paulson, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.